Hey everyone, Gil here at GrayManPrepping. Sorry I'm a little scruffy looking, but I've been working out hard in the yard and I needed to get this video done because it was a special request by a subscriber, and so let's get on with it. All right, so this is going to be part of the Prepping in Private series I'm doing as well, besides the Prepping for Beginners. Basically, what I'm going to do here is talk about ways you can prep in private. And the request on this one was, how can I hide, food and I was going to try what the word you should use on it, home defense devices, where people can't find them in case of martial law. And so I'm going to cover a bigger perspective rather than just martial law, just life in general, because sometimes people break into your house to steal things. Let's look at the slideshow here first. I'm going to make it bigger and me smaller so you don't have to look at my unshaven face. All right, so one place you can hide stuff in the kitchen, under the cabinets. The cabinets usually have what's called a kickboard, and there are a number of ways you can work with the kickboard. This one here, they just went and cut out the part of the cabinet and they took off the kickboard off of it. So they opened up a space to go into there. Now, depending on how you mount the kickboard and how thick the kickboard is, if it's 3/4 inch thick, I would just cut that totally all the way out. I wouldn't even leave it in there. I wouldn't cut it out like they did. I would, go over to the edge, take down the edge, take it down the other edge, and pop it off, and then put the other kickboard back in place and have it hinged or whatever, or magnetically locked or whatever, so you can get it on and off. Because that's the height on this is going to limit what size cans you can put in there. And if you have a smaller hole, that makes it even tighter to get stuff into. All right, next one here, stairs. Depending on how well built your stairs are, if you're going to remodel, this is a prime time to do it. Usually you have an 8 to 8.5 inch, sometimes even a 9-inch rise on the steps. Well, if you have thick steps on it, the underboards for the steps, then that means you don't need to worry about support in the middle. So like 1 1/8 plywood or whatever. And then what you can do is you can make little drawers for the front, and you pull the front out, and you got drawers with whatever you have in there. And you figure, you can probably make those drawers at least 6 inches deep. You can stand up cans in there and fill it full of cans. Now, the one thing I disagree with this picture here is about an arc that allows you to draw so you can stick your fingers in it. No, I wouldn't do that. There's a bunch of other ways you can do it to open it up. One includes a magnetic way, where you have a metal plate on the back here, like on your banister, the knobs there. You can have the knob with a big, powerful magnet under it, and so you just lift it off, take it down to the bottom, and it pulls your drawer open. You put the banister knob back. Or you can have a hidden magnet somewhere around. You just go over and just pull it out. If you're going to do that, though, I'd put a very thin piece of felt on it so you don't scratch up the faceplate here to draw attention to it. Of course, if you have kids, they're probably going to be kicking it anyways and scratching it up anyways. Now, the next one here is one of my favorites. The closet hidey hole. Whether it's like this here, you take a quick look over the right side. This is stairs going down. And so this is the space above that area that you can get into. Now, they made it so it wasn't noticeable by putting lapboard in there. So it looks like it's, so when you see a seam there, you see a bunch of seams, so you don't know where the door is. And that's a really neat idea. I mean, you can load it up with office supplies and stuff, and then people won't be looking behind it. Another one here is the under the stairs hidey holes. Now this one here, they didn't hide it. They just put handles on here to pull them out. But you can set it up where they got the push thing where you push on it and it springs open, or you have it where it locks in place and you got to have a button to release somewhere, or like I said, a magnet one where it's kind of snaps in place like cabinet doors do, and you just have a magnet to put on there to pull the door open. And yeah, you can load a lot of food and supplies in something like this. Now this is one where they did a little bit of sneakiness beyond sneakiness. At the end of the hallway here, what they did is they came out from the end, built a whole wall with the shelves in it, and then the shelves open out. Now, if you're doing shelves for a door, you got to make sure you use some really heavy duty hinges so they don't start to sag. All right, and you also want to really beef up the door jamb here so it has the strength to support those shelves. Yes, they put some wheels on it down here at the bottom, but depending on the wheels, you need to get those clear urethane ones that don't leave any marks. But even then, they'll still, with dirt on the floor, will start to scuff it up, and you'll get a scuff mark on there. So, basically, you want to make sure that the wheels are free pivoting so they don't drag it all in one direction. But this is a really simple one to do. If you have a spout, you do it, and you just build a fake wall and do stuff. Here's another one which is a little bit easier and harder at the same time. Say in the bedroom, which you notice that the mirror here on the left, well, the mirror opens up and there's 3.5 inches deep of space to hide stuff in. And you can do however you want to do it, but a good hinged mirror with a good magnetic latch on it works great. Here's another one where they built the door into shelves. Now this looks like this is the roof line here, and so they just built it back in a little space in there to hide stuff in. This one I think is cool. I found this JPEG of it. This is set up so basically it pivots out like a bifold door, so it's supported top and bottom, and the supports are hidden, so no one sees it there. All right, and I believe that's the last one. Oh, no, one more to go here. The old under the floorboard trick, as Maxwell Smart would say. One of the places you can hide money and stuff. All right, so one of the things I didn't put in there that they showed was for like regular built-in drawers and stuff. You can, if it's a deep drawer, you can basically stack a drawer in there. So you open it up and you have your drawer, but it's this much shallower than what it looks. And when you pull harder on it, another drawer opens out underneath that drawer, and that gives you a couple more inches to hide stuff like money and jewelry and stuff like that. Works great in bathrooms because people, you keep all sorts of crap in the bathroom drawer. Then I kind of notice, say, well, wait a minute, this drawer is shallow. It's not as deep as it should be. So that's one place to hang on that. Now I got a little video clip here. I'm going to bring it back up over here, and I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to play a video here for you when I walked around the house here and showed some ways of doing hidey holes here. So let me get over here and start it up. All right, so in the one bedroom here, I'm going to show you a way to make 2 hidden compartments. Now, pardon my green screen here, but all right, so in the closet here, you can see it goes back. It goes all the way back to where that wall is. So you got this much space there that you can actually, on the inside, going across to where the stud is in the back, put a wall across there. Make like a little cubby hole up above where the clothes rod ties in. You can make a little door up there that'll open up to put stuff up in here. Down below, you can do 1 or 2 or 3 little pop open doors. You can build shelves in. You can leave it open. I would recommend probably you leave it open and you get a stackable shelf system so you can adjust the shelves after it's in there. And that way you just pop it open and you got food in there. Now, that's on the one side of the closet. Let's go over here and look at the other side. The other side here, you can do the same thing till you got from this point over to here, because this is where the wall is on the other side. See? Wall. And so you can do that there. if you have closets like that, you can do it a lot. Now, this side over here, that's an outside wall. I would only put dry goods over there. No canned goods at all. No liquids. Keep the liquids over on this side over here where it's warmer from the whole house. But that side, because that wall is outside wall, it can, if you wall it off like that, it can freeze in there. All right, so let's go look at something else in here in the kitchen. This cabinet here is a deep cabinet. It's a lot deeper than the other cabinets. What can you do? You can go back in here and come out about 6 inches and put a fake back in it. That way they look at it, they see knickknacks, whatever else, they see the back of it, they don't go in there. You got food hidden. What do we got here? We got another one, also very deep. You can do the same thing with it. From the back, block, make a false back on it that you can pop out semi-easily. Make it hard for them to find it, but you can do it. Now, on this one here, this corner cabinet here, this is where the manufacturers got cheap. Okay, so this is a cabinet, this is a cabinet. There's dead space in there. There's ways where you can, cut a hole, whatever, and kind of hide it so you can hide stuff in there as well. Guess what? Between this one and this one, same thing. There's a corner hole. Now over here on this side of the kitchen, they opened it all the way up. So you can't do it here. And down below, same way of thing. It goes all the way back. Now if you want to be sneaky about it, where it goes all the way back over there, you can go and block it off even here. And if they say anything, well, that's just the way the cheap guys put it. They just put cabinets in. That's a dead space back in there. We can't get to it. So that's another way. All right, let's see. Walk around here. Really can't do anything with that cabinet because it's all the way into the corner. So let's slip into the bedroom here. And pardon the mess. All right, I don't know if it's just our family or not, but all the members of our families, cousins, seem to have pedestal beds. And what do we got here on the pedestal bed? Well, you got drawers, you got a cabinet opens up, drawers, and then you have a dead space at the head. Ooh, dead space. Well, that's one you can work on to try to use as hiding space. But what's interesting here, probably not going to have enough light really to show it. See if I can get the light on. There we go, got some light coming on. So down in here, we just stuff all the blankets and quilts and everything in there. But once you go up, it goes all the way to the head of the bed. You can make a crawl space where you go up there and have the door to those two dead spaces on either side from inside here. If someone comes to steal your food and they start pulling stuff out, all they see is blankets after blankets, they're going to stop. And even if they do get the last batch out, they're just going to look up there and see the wall at the far end and not really notice that there's a door on each side to the dead space. You can also, part way up, put a false partition in there so they can't see all the way, and that gives you another 3 feet of food storage under there. Now if you have let's go to the other bedroom, and I'll show you what I did there that you can do as well. It's really neat and interesting for a hidey hole and for a lot of different things. So this is the kids, where the grandkids come over and stay over. I built a platform out of 2x12s. It's totally hollow under there. Now one of the things you can do, like was in the travel trailer, the platform for the full bed in the travel trailer has a hinge 3/4 of the way down. So you can lift it up and you can get the stuff underneath there. But if you have it set where it kind of locks down, like just drop a screw in on each side, they can't pick it up. And that thing is heavy. Trust me, it is very heavy. Now, another thing you can do, let's go to the other bedroom in here. Yes, bedroom. Okay. If you have just a regular bed, you usually have space underneath it. Well, this here has a trundle bed under it. So it won't work with this one, but if you just have a regular bed, instead of the trundle, you can box it off and use that as a space to store stuff. And you can even build it so it has some drawers in the front and a cubby, but the back of the cubby opens up to the rest of underneath the bed. So that's another way that you can do it. And of course here, unfortunately with this closet, there's not much room here in this closet. So, but when you have a roof, sorry, let me go back in here, where it goes up high like that, you got space up there that is dead space. So you can put some shelves up there, and in the front have a sort of a drop down lid up there, so it looks like that's the ceiling. And they don't realize that above it is a bunch of more space. So those are just some of the things I can show you from around here. And I'll get back to the video and be talking to you more about other stuff. All right, so as you can see, there are a lot of ways to hide, things all over the place. Use your imagination, look at it for different ways. I don't know what your places look like. You do, look around, be inventive. Pretend you're, a secret spy or whatever, and you'll figure out ways of doing it. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you, but I didn't have it in here, those black and yellow tubs, the black tubs with the yellow lids you get at Home Depot, Lowe's, Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, all right? You can take those and you can set the lid up with some thin 1/16 inch foam sealer around it. So when you put the lid on, it's actually keeps bugs from going inside of it. And you can bury those. Now the big ones, you may need to put a piece of plywood or something on top to give the lid more support so it doesn't collapse down in. But as far as they have smaller ones as well that are about a third the size that are stout like that, and you can just go out and dig a hole, bury it in the backyard, throw a bunch of mulch on top of it, put a decorative rock over it or whatever, and they're not going to bug it. That's a buried cache. And I know Uncle Al talks a lot about burying caches. Now, depending on your temperature in your area, that dictates how deep you need to bury it. If you're doing, let's say like you're up here in Idaho, it's going to freeze down a foot or two. Now, so stuff you keep out there is going to be stuff you don't need to worry about freezing. Dry goods, beans, rice, pastas, flours, stuff like that. And actually, you don't want to bury flours because you got to use flour in a certain amount of time once it's been ground up. But barley and other stuff, grains and stuff you can bury. You just want to make sure that tub is going to be watertight. So any water comes around, it's not going to go down, seep up into it. And you also want to have it deep enough that it's not going to get deep enough that the heat's not going to get to it. That's why I say you bury it and you put several inches, 3-4 inches of mulch on top of it, which acts as insulation. Put a big old flat rock on top of that, and that helps as well. Or you just put a potted plant over it, and that will really help protect it. All righty. So I hope I gave you some ideas here on ways to hide food in your apartment that when people come looking for it, they're not going to find. There's probably more ideas out there, but if you Google hidey holes, HIDEY space HOLES, and look at images, you'll find all sorts of cool things out there. All right. So as always, everyone, stay happy, stay safe, stay prepared. If you can, plant a garden. And check out these videos coming up here. I got a little trailer here coming on the end here to show you some videos you might want to be interested in.